Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and I just want to make a very quick video today to give you just a little taste of what Ricky Royal and I are developing for the Oath Clockwork Adversaries expansion. So this is currently live on Kickstarter. It's listed as Oath New Foundations. It's like a two-part expansion with the solo part, and the solo part is Ricky and me. I do feel I should clarify, this is very prototypey. Development is very early. There's a lot that could change. I don't want to make y'all too many promises, but at the same time, I want to show you some of the stuff we're thinking about, some of the stuff that's got me feeling really excited about this project. It's making me really happy as I work on it. So that hopefully you can share in that as well. Hopefully sometime next week, we're going to be releasing a little print and play deck so you can try out the servant yourself. That's what we're currently calling our little automated opponent. But again, she'll be very provisional, so have that in mind if you decide to give her a test run. So having said that, I want to show you just a very quick demo. And I basically got this set up as like a little 3-player game where we have a human chancellor, a bot exile, and then a human exile. So what we're hoping to do with the servant is have her just sub in for a human player. Right now, we do not have her able to play a citizen yet, although we are really looking forward to trying to figure that out. I personally love the idea of a person who's stuck in an uneasy relationship with a bot. I mean, that's hilarious, sorry. But for now, we are having her sub in for Chancellor or Exile, and we think we're definitely getting somewhere with that. One of the reasons we are working on the servant this way is because we have heard y'all out there talking about wanting to add another player to your 2-player games and kind of spice those up and bulk them out. And we are very, very much hoping the servant's going to be able to do that. Hopefully she can scale for ideally many player accounts. This is also not the only solo co-op thing that Ricky and I are cooking up right now. We also do want to do other more adventurous solo and perhaps co-op scenarios as part of this expansion. But the servant bot is just the first thing that we want to kind of put out there into the world. So let's have a look at her and how she is currently operating. All right, so as I mentioned, she is in as an exile. For now, we're going to do just a quick set of turns. I'll do the Chancellor turn really quick. I know it's not what y'all are here to see, so let's just get to it. All right, so let's say I'm the Chancellor. I've got the Oathkeeper of Supremacy goal. And you'll note that we have a card over here that says rules the most sites. This is one of the servant's components, so we're going to look at that in just a moment. But on my turn, I'm all set up to go. Let's say that, what's my advisor? I've got animal playmates. Let's go ahead and play that face up. Maybe what I want to do is the Chancellor is actually come over here and do some business with the mushrooms card. So I will just spend a little bit to travel. Maybe what I want to do is tell a little secret to the mushrooms, get some more favor from the Beast Bank. So that would have cost me 1 to do some trading. Maybe I'd like to travel again, maybe in preparation for taking over another site. So I'll come down here. Let's see what we got. Okay, we're at the Ancient City. We need a relic. Let's see what it is. Ooh, a Grand Mask. So cute. Looks good on me. Then I've got a little supply left. Maybe I will spend it to search the discard. I'll search the discard pile. All right, so let's see what we got. Ooh, okay. So since the elders are over here, I know that we've got some nomad suit stuff out. Ooh. You know what? Maybe I'll take relic worship. That's kind of fun. So I'll just put it face down over here for now. Or actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and play it. Let's play it to the site. Let's get a favor. And we'll discard these. All right, so now I'm out of stuff. I also know that I have 17 to 11 warbands still in my supply, so I'll just do that. So that's a nice little Chancellor turn, nice and easy. So now we can get to what you actually want to see, which is the servant turn. So this is just going to kind of be a conceptual overview of some of the stuff Ricky and I are working on for the servant. The first thing is that the servant isn't going to discard their initial advisor cards. Instead, the servant will occasionally draw cards and add them to this stack. And then when it's time to play a card, you just play whatever's on top. Sometimes it'll go into an advisor slot. Sometimes it'll go to a site. There are also just a couple little added components that represent the servant right now. One of them is this deck of AI cards. No, this is not from Anne's End. I'm just using the cards as backing. Sorry, everyone. But we have these little cards that are going to have actions on them that direct what the servant is going to do. So I'm going to walk you through her actions. We also have these other little cards that we're currently calling mood cards. And what these are going to do is they're going to adapt to the game state so that the servant will get in your way if you are a human player. So right now, the only goal that's face up is the Oathkeeper of Supremacy goal. So rule the most sites is going to be a priority for me and therefore for the servant. So she's going to get in the way. If somebody were to reveal a different vision, then her mood would change to deliberately interfere with that human player. Or with a second bot, which I've been experimenting with, but it's a lot of overhead right now, so we'd like to cut that down before officially recommending that way of play. So right now her mood is rules the most sites. She's going to get in my face as much as possible. The other thing I want to show you before we look at these cards is these overlays. So Ricky, I'm sorry, man, I can't get my computer to print these at the right size. But these are supposed to be overlays that just go over this part of the player board to indicate that you've got a bot player. But we're experimenting with these moon and star actions. And we're thinking that by putting moon and star actions into the deck that directs actions, you can use the same deck to have bots that have different priorities and personalities, which we thought was really interesting. So that's something that we're playing with right now. So I have a couple of different overlays that are kind of experimenting with the servant, her personality, her habits. So we're going to go with this overlay right now. Because it's a little meaner, I think. And so she's got some custom actions that she's going to do when the moon and star come up, which they absolutely will. So with all of that explained, I'm just going to go ahead and flip a card, and we're going to play through one of her turns. But before we do that, I should return this lovely secret to the Chancellor board. I often get really excited about the servant, and I like to go so fast that I forget to clean up. Oops. All right, so let's go ahead and flip this card. And I'm just going to hold it up so you can kind of see. We're also going to end up shuffling the deck after this one. But basically, you have 4 little bands of actions here. And then along the bottom, you've got this little order of suits. The actions are what we're going to do during the turn. And she'll have access to some and some not. And I'll explain how that works. And then also, the suits along the bottom kind of tell you which favor bank she's going to take from, distribute to, so that way it's a little bit random and it's different per card. So she kind of moves the economy around a little bit. So let's go ahead and move through the card. First, we got the top row. So this first little symbol here means reap. And what we're currently having that do is take a card off the world deck and discard it. One thing the servant absolutely will do is go looking for visions. If she's playing as the Chancellor, she will eat the visions to kind of keep you from having other options to win. If she is an exile, she will want a vision and she will want other ones to come out so she could potentially win from that position. And she also will consume more visions to block out the other exile. So you do not want to mess around too much on the world deck. It would be a mistake. So she's going to take 1 card off the world deck. It's not a vision. She'll discard it. The other thing that she will do is she's going to take a favor, starting with the suit bank that is the leftmost on the card. So we'll just grab a little arcane favor for the bot. So that's simple enough. Now she's going to have moon and star actions. So we're going to look at those custom actions. They are not nice, my friends. All right, so the moon action is based on her mood. So there's different things that she might do depending on what the player goals are. So my current goal is to rule the most sites as the Chancellor. And kind of as the exile too, because the exile also does not have a revealed vision. So the servant is like, oh, I guess I also need to try to rule the most sites. So she's going to travel to the nearest site that she doesn't rule, and she's going to campaign there. So she doesn't have to travel anywhere. So nearest is defined as the site that have the lowest supply cost, but it doesn't cost anything to just stay right where she is and make my life bad. So that is exactly what she's going to do. So generally speaking, the servant will just campaign against a site that she's on, unless she's going for the darkest secret or something like that. We're still working on getting her to campaign intelligently without overdoing it on the if-then sort of charts because we don't want to overload people. But for now, she's going to go for my site. I just get a little die for my 1 defense at the site. And she, of course, gets 3 dice for her warbands. So let's see how it goes. That was useless to me. So I got ×2, but like ×2 what? 0 times 2 is still 0. So she kicked my butt at this site. That stinks for me. So this is going to come back to my player board. It's half rounded down. And then the servant is going to put one of her warbands on the site. So she's going to rule it now. That sucked for me as the Chancellor. As the exile, you might be thinking like, haha, but she's powerful enough that you might have to stop her if you want to win yourself, which is what kind of makes her fun. So that was just the moon action. Now we're going to do the star action. So basically, if the servant needs a vision, so she doesn't currently have one, and that means that she needs one. If she was the Chancellor, she wouldn't necessarily need one, but she might want to pick it up and eat it. So if the servant needs a vision, or if they have a vision 3 have yet to be drawn, then the world deck will get searched. That's what we're about to do. Otherwise, there's some other stuff that would happen. And then if she's got enough favor, then you distribute favor back to the banks, but you give secrets to the servant, and her secret generation is unreal. We need to figure out how exactly we want to make that as evil as possible, but we're on it. So we're going to search the world deck to, she got a vision. So basically, because she drew a vision, she's going to keep it. These other cards get discarded. Boom, she got Vision of Faith. So now she wants the Darkest Secret. And so she has pulled that vision that she needed to give herself an alternative win condition, but she will absolutely eat up other visions that come her way. So be very careful. Then if she had 3+ favor, we'd redistribute it, but we won't. Now we're going to continue down the card. So the first thing she's going to do here is she's going to search the discard. So what that'll mean for her in this case is she's going to pull these cards right here. There's no vision here, so she's going to pull a random denizen. She's going to put it on top of her advisor stack and then discard. So she's got this running advisor stack. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you how to use it because this is a boost action. So as you can see here, we've got a Discord symbol right up here on the top left. Sorry for my lack of color printing. I don't have access to the school library anymore. So if she had access to the Discord suit, either because she owned a site that had it or it was over here on the mood card, then she would be able to also play one of these. So when she plays an advisor, she basically will flip this card. She'll either play it to the site she's at or play it as one of her face-up advisors, preferably. Then she's going to campaign. All right, so now she's going to campaign again. So campaign is the only part of our bot logic that has kind of a lot of logic to it right now. So basically, as it's currently written, although this could change, if the current site is not ruled by an opponent player and it has less than 2 warbands, she'll just move a warband here. She'll also just take control of a site. If it's not ruled, she doesn't have to fight bandits like we do because she's friends with those bandits. If the site's ruled by an opponent player and she has a larger attacking force, then she'll wreck you, as you got to see. If she can't campaign for any reason, then she'll muster. But since she doesn't need to actually fight for the space, but there's only one warband here, that campaign action means that she's going to place a warband. Now she is going to get to do a boosted action. So you can see this little muster flag here. She's got a beast symbol above it on this card. There's also a beast symbol over here on rules the most sites. So basically the servant has access to boost actions based on the amount of secrets and favor that are on her board. So we're going to spend a secret to cover up the beast faction. So that way she can't just use it a whole bunch of times if it comes up. It's like a little bit of a limit on the number of boosted actions she's able to take. But she's going to muster. So what that means is she's going to place favor on a denizen. If there's more than one denizen, the one that she decides to pay is based on the faction order at the bottom of the card, which we showed earlier. And then she's just going to muster a couple warbands. She doesn't have to worry about supply like we do. She can just fly on free. Of course she can. And then she has one more action on here, which is recover. So this is sort of interesting. Basically, she's going to recover the first thing that she can afford to recover. So she can't really afford much right now. She doesn't have any secrets to grab Darkest Secret. She doesn't have enough favor to grab People's Favor. But if she did, she would grab those. And she doesn't even have to pay the wake cost for Banner of the People's Favor. So watch out for her on that. It's a little mean. And then if she can take a relic, she will. However, there isn't anything for her to grab right now. So basically what happens is anytime the servant has an action that doesn't do anything, then she'll just pick up a favor from the leftmost suit on her card. So she's going to grab another favor from the arcane bank, which is actually pretty tough because there's arcane stuff out here that our other exile might have wanted to use, but we'll get there. And then this is the Hearth suit. She doesn't have access to that either at her site or through her mood card, so she won't actually use that. So that is the end of the servant's turn this time. This does say reset deck, so we'll just shuffle the whole deck. We'll shuffle everything back in. We'll return her secrets as part of cleanup, and that's that for her turn. So that is basically how the servant is going to be playing in the context of a 2-player game where you've added a 3rd player. She still needs some balancing. We'd like her Ricky and I are constantly talking about tweaks to make to her, and we're hoping that the moon and star actions will give us a whole lot of flexibility while keeping this deck, because we like the structure of it, we like the flow. We just want to make sure that the servant is doing the things she needs to do in order for players to have the best possible game. So that is a quick look at the servant, who is sort of the first thing that we're working on for the Clockwork Adversaries expansion for Oath. Hopefully you enjoyed this little tour. Hopefully we'll have the P&P out next week so you can give her a whirl yourself. But thank you so much for watching. Feel free to ask questions. I'll answer them as well as I possibly can. I'll let Ricky know that this video is here as well, so he can also answer questions maybe. But thank you so much for watching. If you're supporting Oath already, thank you so much for that support. And most of all, happy gaming.